Hello and welcome to Gaia. In this tutorial I'll set up a lightweight, low poly terrain using assets from Cinti and Gaia. First thing we need to do is go Window, Gaia, Show Gaia Manager. Then in our environment we select Mobile and VR. What that does is it automatically selects Cinti. If you wanted to change and put in other terrain resources, just select on that and you can choose the resources you want to use. We're going to use Cinti, and the same with the game objects. Then we go Create Terrain and Show Stamper. What Gaia's done is created a 1 kilometer square terrain for us. And then I'm going to add something into my terrain here. I'll just pop that out of the road for the moment. So go Gaia, Stamps. Let's create, say, a valley. And let's create, let's say valley 8. So we'll drag our valley over onto our stamper. What Gaia has done is created a preview mesh for us. I'm just going to turn off light baking while I'm running this. I'm not running on my desktop, so this machine is not quite as powerful. Window, lighting. Put this over here, turn this off. Just a quick way to make sure that you're using all of your power of your system to do the task at hand, which in this case is stamping. So let's look at this. This is, yeah, it's not too bad. We'll just deselect ground base, maybe drop it down a bit. So we get a bit of water here as well. Let's go stamp. So Gaia's now stamped that terrain for us. Then the next thing we'll do, we'll go back to Gaia Manager, Gaia Show Manager, and we'll go Create Spawners. So the first thing we'll do is we'll actually texture our terrain. Now this is a terrain that's set up to be low poly, but I use that in inverted commas. It's still a standard Unity terrain. And we're using standard Unity terrain approaches, but we're using textures which have been set up just a bit differently than normal. So if we look at this texture here, we've got our ground texture, but we've got a normal which has got some interesting little low poly like markings. It's not actually a low poly terrain per se, although we do set it up fairly optimally for mobile. It just works better with the Cinti assets. So let's go to our game object spawner and spawn our assets. So guys, just spawned in some farms. You've got some quite big environments there. Let's add some more. Okay, then let's select our trees and add some trees. So guys, iterating through the terrain and adding little patches of interesting things. Remember, this is supposed to be a fairly lightweight environment, so we don't want to go too crazy with it. Add a few more. And go to Gaia Manager. Now, I could choose a first person play here, but I'm going to choose a flying camera instead. And just go Create Player, Water and Screenshotter. So Gaia has added some water that works better with low poly environments. So let's see what Gaia's done for us. So here we've got our environment. We've spawned in some awesome Cinti assets. We haven't baked our lighting yet, so the lighting isn't quite right. There's some water. Here's one of our little farms that we spawned in. So let's go back to Gaia. Now we can do this while we're running. Go to GX, Procedural Worlds, Cameras and Light, and select Camera Effects. So I've just added some, and then let's select Afternoon Light. And all of a sudden, we've created a fairly cool little environment. Okay, I Hope you enjoyed this tutorial.